Today, you're going to learn exactly how to deal with disrespectful teenagers. I'll explain how you can get them to stop ignoring you, to stop making rude remarks, and to stop giving you attitude. I've been working with teens around the world for over a decade, so I know tried and tested ways to get them to stop being disrespectful. I'm Daniel Wong, and I specialize in helping teens to become successful and happy. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 proven tips that have transformed the lives of my teenage coaching clients and their families. Make sure you stay till the end of the video because at the end, I'm going to tell you where you can download a free guide I've written. This guide will explain the little-known keys to getting your teens to listen to you. If your teens are disrespectful, you probably feel frustrated and annoyed. The disrespectful behavior probably gets under your skin. So first, you need to understand why teens behave the way they do. This leads me to tip number 1. Understand the teenage brain. Dr. Daniel Siegel and Tina Bryson explain that there are 2 important parts of the brain: the downstairs brain and the upstairs brain. The lower region is the downstairs brain, and it mostly refers to the limbic system. The downstairs brain is responsible for emotions like anger, fear, and anxiety. It's also responsible for instinctive or impulsive responses. Now let's talk about the upstairs brain. The upper region is the upstairs brain, and it mostly refers to the prefrontal cortex. The upstairs brain is responsible for higher order thinking, planning, solving problems, regulating emotions, controlling impulses, and making good long-term decisions. I know that you might be thinking, my teens don't have an upstairs brain at all. They only have a downstairs brain because everything they do is impulsive. That wouldn't be too far from the truth. Scientists have discovered that the upstairs brain is only fully developed around the age of 25. So for your teens, their upstairs brain isn't actually working that well. This is why they can get easily frustrated, experience mood swings, and be impulsive. This is also why they can be disrespectful, even when they don't mean to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should excuse all your teenagers' bad behavior. I'm just saying that there's a biological reason for their challenging behavior. So, as you empathize and connect with your teens, you'll help them to use their upstairs brain to manage their downstairs brain. When their downstairs brain has taken over and they're angry or overwhelmed, there's no point trying to have a calm discussion with them. Wait for their upstairs brain to be back in control, which could take 1 hour or even several hours. Then you can talk to them about the situation calmly and have a problem-solving session with them, if they are ready. Remember, when teens don't feel right, they can't act right. Now let's move on to tip number 2. Model the behavior you want to see in your teens. This is one of the most important things you can do. If you want your teens to be respectful, then you need to treat them with respect. Some of you might be thinking, why do I need to treat my teens with respect? When I was growing up, I was expected to obey and respect my parents, even if they treated me like dirt. My teens should show me respect no matter what. I understand where you're coming from, but times have definitely changed over the past couple of decades. Teens today are influenced by what they read and watch on social media and on the internet in general. Teens today believe less in the idea that you should be respected just because of your age, title, or position. Of course, I do think that teens need to learn to show respect for authority figures. At the same time, research has shown that the teenage brain is wired to want status and respect. That's why teens hate it when adults talk down to them. If you call your teens disrespectful and then you proceed to treat them disrespectfully, they won't have any of it, and things will escalate. So show your teens basic courtesy and respect. No name calling, no swearing, no shaming, no insulting, no taunting. Do your best to rise above the level of your teens' behavior. You can't win the battle by descending to their level. You can only win by staying calm, by being consistent, and by modeling a better kind of behavior. And remember, the approach that's effective almost 100% of the time with teens is when you do more listening and less lecturing. If you're finding the tips useful so far, please like this video. And please leave a quick comment below to answer this question. What is one disrespectful thing your teens do or say that frustrates you? Now it's time to talk about tip number 3. Give your teens power. That might sound strange, so let me explain. Most of my teenage coaching clients tell me that they feel powerless. In many areas of their lives, they don't have a say about what they can and cannot do. And they don't have the power to make many decisions. For example, when teens are in school, they're expected to just obey instructions. Follow these rules. Get to school by this time. Study these topics. Do this homework. Meet these deadlines. And so on. Then when they get home, most teens have more instructions to follow. Get to bed by this time. Stop using your phone so much. Do these chores. Don't watch so much TV. Complete your schoolwork, etc. In fact, Dr. Robert Epstein's research shows that the average teen is subjected to 10 times as many restrictions as adults and twice as many restrictions as prison inmates. I don't know what the situation is like in your home, but the likelihood is that your teens feel powerless. They want to have a greater sense of independence, but they feel like they're just supposed to do what authority figures tell them to. So when teens rebel and become disrespectful, they're not really rebelling against their parents or teachers. They're rebelling against the use of power. They don't want to feel like they're being controlled. This is a big reason why gaming and social media and watching shows and videos are so appealing to most teens. They get to decide what games to play, how to play the game, which photos to look at, and which shows and videos to watch. It's in this online world of entertainment where they have power. The power to choose and the power to decide what they think is best. Of course, teens need to learn to respect rules and boundaries, but they also need to be empowered. When they have more power, they'll be more respectful. This is a finding that's discussed by developmental psychologist Dr. Diana DeVecha. She has written about various scientific studies that show that teenagers who have more autonomy and more control in their lives are far less likely to display rebellious behavior. So give your teens freedom within limits. Discuss expectations related to screen time and chores and anything else that's an area of conflict. Do your best to arrive at a win-win solution in every situation, or at least a no-lose solution. Help your teens to make informed decisions, but as far as possible, let them have the final say. The approach that works best with teens is when you do more coaching and less controlling. When you use this approach, they'll naturally be less rebellious and less disrespectful. Let's move on to tip number 4. Avoid using you statements. You statements focus on your teen's bad behavior or negative traits. Here are some examples of you statements that start with the phrase, "you are." You are so rude. You are such an irresponsible person. You are lazy. You are being ridiculous. How would you feel if someone said those types of things to you? You'd probably feel angry, offended, and annoyed. That's how your teens feel when they hear you statements directed at them. It's also best if you avoid using you statements that start with the phrase, "you should." Here are some examples of these types of you statements. You should stop using your phone so much. You should start writing things down so you don't forget them. You should pay more attention in class. You should wake up earlier so you don't have to rush. Once again, if you use you statements, your teens will turn defensive and they'll start to tune you out. So how should you communicate with your teens instead? Use more I statements. I statements are statements which focus more on your feelings instead of your teen's behavior. As you might expect, I statements typically start with the word I. Keep this principle in mind whenever you're talking to your teens. More connecting, less criticizing. Here are a couple of examples of I statements. I feel disrespected when you speak to me that way. Or, I feel stressed in the morning when we leave the house late because I'm worried that I'm not going to get to work on time. If you talk to your teenagers this way, they'll feel less judged and they'll be more likely to stay calm and speak to you respectfully. So just to recap, use fewer you statements and more I statements. There you go. Those are my 4 proven strategies for dealing with a disrespectful teenager. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Just click the subscribe button below this video. And if you want tips about getting your teens to listen to you, I've written a free quick action guide. It's entitled 10 Proven Ways to Get Your Teenager to Listen to You. Visit daniel-wong.com/guide to download the guide today. Make sure to put all the letters in lowercase. I've also included the download link in the description below. Once again, the guide is completely free, so get your copy right away. Now that you've watched this video, you know how to deal with a disrespectful teenager. If your teen also lacks motivation, I've created this video. This video will show you exactly what to do if you want your teen to become motivated and hardworking. So watch this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.